Hi everybody, I'm making this video right after I made another video to talk about stretching your ears and how to stretch your ears, also known as how to gauge your ears. You call it what you want, but being somebody with a lot of tattoos and a lot of facial piercings and stretched ears, I get asked the same questions over and over again. And when it comes to stretched ears, the first comment that comes out of someone's mouth is, "Oh, you're all decorated up, aren't you?" Or, "Oh, look at you, you got lots going on." I mean, something like that, just to start the conversation. That's what they hit me with. And it's not easy to respond to. I say, "Yeah, they're my decorations. I love them." Or, yes, that is a true statement. I mean, first of all, I don't know how to respond to those statements. But then people follow them up with the question, did it hurt? No. It feels good to stretch your ear skin to be able to fit a quarter through it. It feels really good. Did your tattoos hurt? Do your piercings hurt? Does surgery hurt? When you fall down and get a wound, does it hurt? Yeah. Stretching the skin of your ears hurts. But we do it because it's pretty. It's not an unbearable pain. It's one of those pains where you can totally control it. You can go as fast or slow as you like. Don't go as fast as you like. I completely lied. Don't go as fast as you like. You're going to end up with a blowout. Like, I have a partial blowout on one ear because I messed it up. Like 4.5 years ago, I messed it up. And unless I get plastic surgery, I will forever have a little bit of a blowout on one of my ears. And I'll tell you what that is later. But go at your own pace. Just do not go faster than your body can handle. Don't do what my cousin did and pierce your ear with a safety pin. And go all the way up to like an 8 gauge in one day. His ear oozed black. More black than when my ear oozed black. His ear got so infected and so black and so nasty that it was agony for wind pressure to hit it for about a week and a half after. Don't be stupid. You are still playing with your skin. You're still playing with your body. Just keep that in mind. So first of all, you need to have a pierced ear. If you can go to a piercing shop and have your ear scalpeled to have a hole cut in it to be a certain size of gauge you want, or you can have them pierce it and then oil it and shove tapers through and make it as big as you want right then. I've never had it done. I've seen it done. It looks excruciating. They scream like it's excruciating. So I don't know why you wouldn't just do it the nice, simple, old-fashioned way where you might get ouch, son of a, whew, instead of I don't want any of I don't want excruciating pain. So have your ears pierced and have it healed. Wait at least 8 weeks minimum after you get your ears pierced to start stretching them. It takes 6 weeks just for the piercings itself to heal. And then for your body to adjust to having earrings in it anyway without stretching that, you need to give it more time. I suggest having your ears pierced for a year before you start stretching with them. These lobes, my big lobes, I got these done when I was 3. My second set of stretch lobes, I got those pierced when I was 11. So I'd had all the stretched ear piercings for at least 10 years. Yeah. Because I didn't start stretching my second lobes until I was 19. So 8 years for those. But I had these for a very long time before I started stretching them. Those ear piercings are going to be about a 16 gauge. Maybe an 18 gauge if you're a baby, maybe 20. But 18 and 20 gauges are so small that it doesn't really matter. But most often piercings, like the piercings in my face, not my cheek, but the rest of my face, they're all 16 gauge piercings. That's the standard. That's what, if you buy these and a piercing gun, which I don't really recommend using piercing guns. I just have an old pair of studs because my mom worked at Claire's, and so I have piercing guns, but I don't really use them. So the first size that you will buy will be a 14 gauge, and they're not very big. You'll look at it, you'll be like, oh my gosh, that's so small. Go slow. Go very slow. You will do a 14 gauge, you'll do a 14 gauge, and then a 12 gauge, and then a 10 gauge. And when you get to a 10 gauge, your stretched ear will be the thickness of the inside of this pen. This is a 10 gauge. Happy note, if you ever lose your gauge at school, you can clip the clean end off of one of these and stick it in your ear, and it makes shift for a 10 gauge until you get home. That will be a 10 gauge. So going from the post in this guide to this should take you quite a few months into there. You know, at least give each size, when they're that small, 2 weeks to heal. Because trust me, your ears are going to feel it, and it's not going to tickle. You're going to put the 14 gauge in, you're going to be like, this looks like nothing. Ow! I jumped like right to a 10 gauge, and my ears, it was torture. It was a bad idea. No, I went from 14 to 10, and that was a bad idea. So you buy your 14 gauge, then your 12 gauge, then your 10 gauge. Lots of stores will sell them in like packs of those. And you'll get tapers. And so let me pull my gauge box over here. I don't think I have any tapers in this one. No, but I have one in my ear. Oh, there's my engagement ring. Okay. So this is, stupid O-ring, get off. This is like a taper. They're shaped like this. And it's called a taper because, as you can see, starting right here, it gets smaller as it goes down. So when you put it in your ear, it gets a little bit bigger. And then up here, it's like flat. You take the O-ring off. It's flat. This is not focusing well. Okay, anyway, doesn't focus at all. But that is a taper. And you'll use these for when you really just first start stretching your ears, pretty much up until 10 gauge. Then you can jump to, and I lost my O-ring. Then you can start doing something called taping, which is the safest way to stretch your ears. People, I know they want to go from like a certain size to a bigger size, and so they'll buy like a plug. These are plugs. Lots of people will call them gauges. But they're actually, these, when they're shaped like this, it's a plug. They'll buy a plug like this, and then they'll get the next size up, like a bigger plug, but just like it. And so they'll have the plug in their ear and take it out and then try and shove the other plug through without any tapering or anything like that. And that does not ease your ear into it at all, and that's how you can get a blowout. You can get a blowout really easily. And what blowouts are, you can Google it. When you shove it through your ear too fast, and the skin on the inside of your ear kind of pushes out the back. So it doesn't always involve blood or things like that, but your skin kind of gets pushed. And I'm actually going to show you mine, even though it's kind of embarrassing. Do you see how I have this like line right here, this crease? That's because that's like part of the inside of my skin, or my ear, and it's like this little strip up here is the outside of my ear, and then this is more, used to be like the inside of my tunnel, and it now pushes out the back a little bit because I got too excited, and so now I'll have that little crease. Lots of people get them, and they will look like big, red, weird, gross, whatever. It looks like your butt blew itself out. Like, if anybody's seen the weightlifting videos where the guy's lifting weights and his butt blows inside out or whatever, that's what your ear looks like, and it's not sexy. It's gross. So avoid those. Don't shove plugs through your ear like that. Get a taper the next size up, and then, so say I want to go up a size, which I'm going up. I haven't stretched my ears in like 3 years, but I'm so bored with being being 19 millimeters. I'm going up. So you will take like medical tape, waterproof Band-Aid tape, whatever, on a clean plug, and then wrap like a few layers of tape around it and put it back in your ear. and then every day wrap another layer or two of tape around it until you have a few millimeters of tape on there, and then that's just slowly and naturally stretched your ear very well. So I advise anybody who is planning on stretching their ears to look into the taping method. It's the safest, easiest, and prettiest way. You're least likely to get a blowout when you do it that way, and it gives your ears time to just stretch a little bit at a time, and it's a gradual process, and you really avoid doing a lot of damage to yourself. I'm going to sit on my feet. My cats are fighting. Okay, so yeah, I really recommend that. The other way you could do it is you get tapers, and each size up, and you can get something like this. If you order from, I order from a website called painfulpleasures.com. It's not kinky, but they give you these like little charts that say the millimeters in each different gauge size and like how big, and then on this it gives you like the inches, and so how many, what you'll go up. So 18 gauge, 16 gauge, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6. And then you go to 4, 2, 0, double 0. And double 0 is your point of no return. And I'll explain that in another video. Right now, I'm just going to cover the other way of stretching your ears besides the tape method. But this can also be done with the tape method. You get your tapers, and then when the week before you decide to stretch your ears, I suggest you tug on them, kind of, not like big and yanking them, but just, kind of like you're sitting in class, just kind of pulling your plugs. Just start stretching them a bit, and then massaging the lobes. And every night before bed and stuff, take your plugs out and massage your earlobes. Rub either a little jojoba oil, spelled J-O-J-O, into your ears, or vitamin E oil. Just massage that into your ears at night. That really hydrates the ear and helps promote the elasticity of the skin, so that you're less likely to have a blowout, or your earlobe is less likely to snap, because that can happen. Whoa. Anyway, yeah, so just start, massaging them, tugging on them, and rubbing that in them, and then the night you decide to stretch your ears, or the day, whatever, do it after a long hot shower, so the steam makes your skin really, really elastic. And then take the taper, make sure it's clean, cover it in the vitamin E oil or the jojoba oil, lubricate it basically, and then slide it into your ear. If you are just going to the next size up and your ear's ready for it, it's been long enough since the previous stretching, which you should know, because when your ears get used to that size of gauge, it will be easier for the gauge to fall out a lot more. You won't have to pull it out and stuff, and in fact, they might kind of start to fall out on their own. That's when you know that your ear's really ready for a different size. But if there's ever any pain, discomfort, irritation, any swelling, or any resistance when you try to put a gauge in or take it out, do not go up a size yet. Your ear is not ready, and you're going to hurt yourself, and it's going to be ugly, and you don't want it to look ugly. You don't want your stretched ears to look like blown out butts. Anyway, my brain's all confused now. Yeah, so if you're going just up the next size, it should just slide in easy, and then you're great. Just keep it clean, and take care of them and be nice to them. So, which, you can tape up until you decide to do that, and then do it the same way. If you're ever going to put in a new gauge, plug, tape, or whatever, a new size, after a hot shower, after you've massaged your lobes, put the vitamin E oil on your ears, rub it in, put some on the plug or taper, and then put them in that way. Your skin should be really just soft, easy to get the new plug in. It shouldn't be too painful. Yeah, you're going to get that ow, and for the next few days it's going to be kind of crabby, but you're going to get some flaky crusties on it. But just keep it clean and leave it alone. Damn straight. I think that pretty much summed that up. So